My mother met Isadora Duncan in I don't know, when we were in Geneva, Switzerland, 10. And she was so taken by her that she was so inspired that she decided that she was going to be a teacher of movement, not dance, but movement, and physiologically correct and aesthetically satisfying. And she went to later on when she got to Paris, she went to the Academy of Medicine in Paris and studied anatomy, physiology, biology, and the functioning of the body. And she watched also nature and infants in their cribs, the way they build their body to walk by kicking their feet all the time. They're just going towards their body, away from the body, towards the body. And that's how they build their back and their strength and their abdominals to be able to walk when they are a year old. No one teaches them. And so she devised this exercise called throwing the feet towards your chest and, throwing it, because it's very important for the tummy and the back. And then she looked at wildlife and she realized that they all start the movement from the pelvis. This is your basement and this is your roof. And the roof is always passive, sort of, passive in the sense that it doesn't do too many things, the top. And she devised these exercises that are natural, physiologically correct, and that the body needs. It's an art to exercise properly because you guide your body with your brain, with the knowledge that you have. So my mother was decorated by the city of Paris and the Faculty of Medicine for her work when she showed it, when she was teaching in Paris at that wonderful Marignan building. And then she had many important clients because she was so regal. She was very, important looking. And she had the Rothschild, the Princess Aga Khan, and they brought her other people, and that Duchesse the so-and-so, la Princesse the so-and-so. She was she was a little snobbish. I mean, she wanted, because she was raised in that milieu in Russia, she was raised in a very they were very rich. Her father was a landowner and dealing with wood. And in Paris, she became quite known, and she taught men and women. I decided to teach only women because American men like to do their sports, and they don't necessarily need so much as women. Women need all those exercises very much because they shouldn't do stupid things. They have to be graceful, they have to be strong. And I decided to teach her work in New York rather than dance, which there are many dance teachers, but very few good exercise teachers who understand the need of the body. So I'm very pleased with what I did. The rhomboids are very, very important, and no other teacher in America talks about the rhomboids. They say, tighten the buttocks, and they say, this and that and the other for the strength of the body. But her work is very unique and special. The rhomboids are the posture exercise. So you have one for the right shoulder blade and one for the left shoulder blade, and the muscles are right in the upper back. When you contract with your brain, you decide to contract in that area right here. Both muscles work to the center, millimeters only, but it changes the posture. The rib cage goes up and the shoulders go down, and you're not doing it. It's because you're contracting the rhomboids. And the chin has to be sort of in towards the back. it's a great strength, and you have to build them up gradually. They cannot immediately start contracting strong enough. So you do it every day. You contract with your brain, and then you let go, and you do it as often as you feel like it. And when you walk in the street, you do it. But it's off and on, the contraction and then letting go. And then the buttocks have to contract, and they do when you walk, that automatically. But the rhomboids are not automatic. You have to direct it with your brain. But the willpower of your brain and your personality is very, very important, because you guide your body. And you have to, little by little, the muscle gets stronger, and then it's easier. The moment you do it immediately without thinking too much about it, automatically. But in the beginning, it isn't automatic. You have to really make it happen. So it's a fascinating part of exercise, is the rhomboids. And you go to a club, no one ever mentions it. They just 1, 2, 1, 2, that kind of mechanical movement. Doesn't hurt, but it doesn't really help.
I went to have an exhibition in New York, and then Maia invited me to stay. And first morning, she had me on the ground doing the isometric exercises. And really, we did them every single day. And within a week, I just felt so rejuvenated. Even though I was jet lagged and I'd travelled to America and I was working very hard when I got there, I felt just so good and so sort of clear, if you like. And so not only physically agile, but it helped me mentally wake myself up. Not in the day, but I just mean get myself alert, and I was more alert from doing them.
Maia's exercises they're very kind on the body, and I think they do work in incredibly subtle ways, and actually it's very important that one does do the subtle things that she points out, such as clenching your rhomboids at the right time and holding your leg in the right position. And yoga does encourage that, but it's a lot harder on my body than her exercises, and her exercises are just as strengthening. So the exercises are all done on the floor mostly, and they focus very much on, from my perspective, from awakening the spine first of all, which I have found, which I do every morning now, and I found as being one of the things that mostly affects how my day progresses actually. And so from the spine, then it moves on to strengthening other parts of your body. But a lot of it is moving them in order to strengthen, not necessarily something that is exhausting. But you do gain a lot of strength from them, and I know that because Maia's been doing them for a lot longer than I have, and she's a lot better at doing 20 sit-ups in a row than I am. In fact, I sometimes can't complete them and she carries on.
So as everybody knows, that if you do something with a slight bit of discipline, it makes your whole day better, it makes you organise yourself better. But really it's these which are so simple, and no need for the gym, no need for anything. It's a floor that you need, and a slightly padded yoga mat or a blanket, and just your wits about you to remember all the points. But it's just really knowing Maia, knowing the exercises, and I know actually as I get older, I'm 52 now, as I get older I'll be applying them more, because Maia said really, 50, 55, you've really got to start doing them, and you can't rely on your body sort of providing you, your youthful body providing you with the energy and the clarity of things. And so really it's in essence, I know as I get older, she's sort of teaching me really, hopefully, how to grow old gracefully and fit and well.
Expressing the impact that the exercises have on my body isn't something that I'm going to be good at, because I'm not an exercise teacher, I'm not an athlete. But I only know how they feel to me, and the impact that they've had on my life. And I just wish people would try them, and maybe just do them once or do them for a week, and then see the impact that they have on your everyday life.
And now, turn around. And I sit down. And the first exercise in the morning before breakfast is the isometric, bringing the knees towards you, contracting your rhomboids in the middle of your upper back. Bring the knees towards you and take a deep breath and exhale, bringing them towards you. Not forcing, just gently bringing them towards you. And then place the feet on the floor. And the rhomboids are right here between your shoulder blades, in the middle of your spine, but right there. And you have to, with your brain, contract them. You can't do it with the body, because if you do it like that, the muscle is passive. But if the muscle contracts and draws your shoulder blades towards the center, millimeters, it changes your posture. The shoulders go down and the rib cage goes up. And inhale and exhale. Contract the rhomboids and inhale. And exhale, and then a nice breath. Number 2, join your hands, bring the knee to your nose, counting 10. Doesn't matter if you don't reach it. In the morning we are stiff. Join your hands, bring the knee to your nose, counting 10. And change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Always twice each side. Except the first one, which is center. And so you do it for about a minute or two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a deep breath. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make a fan with your toes. And the breathing. Always inhale through the nose as it is a filter. And number 3. Hold, anchor your knee to your chest with your rhomboids. Raise 90 degrees and just very gently rotate your ankle. Your concentration is on locking the knee here. The moment you lose the concentration here, it goes like that. So you have to will it to stay locked as you're moving lazily the little ankle. Like a juggler who does many things at the same time. And up, and then counterclockwise. Very important. You can do it any time of the day when you sit and when you do anything. Move your ankles. Your ankles must be very flexible in order not to get hurt if you should trip. Because if the ankle is only strong from walking and not supple, you really can tear things and hurt yourself badly. And then reverse. And breathing. anchor your knee, stretch your leg, the right leg, push the small of the back of your knee, and raise your toes vertical so that you can push hard your back of the knee, and count 20. And the stretch. It's a wonderful stretch. You don't have to reach your knee. If you can't reach, it doesn't matter. Eventually you will. And breathing. And anchor your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rhomboids, don't forget. Chin pushing. Elbows free because your hands are locked. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And place it slowly next to your knee and breathing. Now we have finished the 4 vital isometric exercises. We're going to do a few sit-ups. You bend your knees, your knees are touching, and you help yourself underneath your thighs. And then the first one is a little tough, but only the first one. And 2, and 3, 4, 6. It's very important to do them every day. And 10. Very, very straight. Sit straight. And we do the first stretch. You go forward from here, not ever from here. You don't want to raise your shoulders. So you're very nice and comfortable, and you go forward with a high rib cage, and then if you can reach, you take it like this. And if you can't, you bend your knees and you pull on your little toes. Pull the toes towards you and press on the little toes with your thumb on the articulation. Very important to do that every day. And pull, 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 because they are ligaments and tendons and they are not elastic. So you have to stimulate them every morning so that you don't get hammer toes when you get old. This is optional, but you go towards your knees. And then separate your legs and lean back slightly and inhale, and then reach out with a high rib cage. Take your foot and put your forehead on the knee. And take a deep breath, a little breath, balance, and then aim with your nose to your knee. It doesn't matter if you don't reach it. And this is optional, this is yoga, but it's a good one. Remember, your chin is like this, always towards the back, never like that. And keep that rib cage high. And then take your time. Some people can go all the way to the floor and some people can't, and you have to live with what you can do. And then stretch. And then we do the rhythmic exercises. We start with throwing the feet, which is what babies do in their crib all day long if they are not tied down, because they like to do it like this, but we do it systematically. Hugging the knees, hands under your head feels very good, and you kick them towards your chest. So it's called fold, unfold, fold, unfold. Your knees go towards your chest, and done. And 9 and 10. And breathing. Take a deep breath. Remember that the equilateral is your elbows are down, your shoulders are down, and the back of your wrists. And it opens the front and tightens the back, including the rhomboids, which contract a little. Then you go raising the pelvis, squeezing everything. You squeeze your buttocks and you squeeze here. You're absolutely like that. And you count 5 or 10, whichever you want. And then down, take a deep breath, push and raise. You're not just leaning on the floor, you're suspended but not high. And then down. Take a deep breath and push against your feet, squeeze and raise millimeters off the ground, but you are suspended. You're not leaning on the floor. And down. Take a deep breath and feel, and if you yawn, it's very good for you. But when you are alone in your room, you can yawn all you want. And 3 now. We do 4 times. And hugging the knees and down. Last time. And up. Squeeze everything. You squeeze the buttocks. You squeeze here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down. And now, développer and down. And 2, and 3, and 4. That's enough. 4 is enough. When you have time, you do more. 1, 2. This is excellent for the knees. Now we do la sirène. That's the waist exercise and the eye exercise. Knees to the right, head to the left. Open your eyes and look all the way, open wide your eyes to exercise. And then center. And look all the way to the right now. And it doesn't matter if you don't touch the floor. What matters is that you keep the shoulders on the floor. You don't want to go like that. That's the important thing. The twist is the important thing. And the center, push your small of the back down and up. Wonderful stretch. Remember, your elbows are down, your wrists are down, the back of the, and your shoulders are down. And center, push. And last time. Open your eyes, look to the side. And, okay. After a twist, we have to do a straight one. Join your hands, you take your knees, you bring them to your forehead. Then you take your ankle, bring them as close as you can to your buttocks. Raise not high, but you feel the stretch. Down and up. Once is enough, but if you feel, you do 2. And then and And then we can do the swinging. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and change. And 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And now for the knees, very important for the knees and the hip joint. Above and below the bent knee. That's for the knee and for the hip joint. You see, when you do big, it's not as strong. It's very strong when you do low lever. And when you do a big thing, it's much easier, of course. But this is very concentrated, and it's quite hard to do because you're squeezing everything, pushing down against your foot and contracting everything. And you do it, let's say, 5 times 10, and then you breathe and change. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do more, you can do less. And after that, and then stretch. Take a deep breath. Then we do 1, 2 for the lower abdominals. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And last time. Take a deep breath. Now we do the rhythmic. 1 and up, and 1 and forward, and up. And another stretch. Take a deep breath. And now a beautiful one. You balance and you hold. You go as far as you can, but no more. And then, and now you take your ankles and you go towards your knees with your nose. Now don't worry about that. It takes time until you can do it easily, but it's worth it. It's a wonderful stretch. Voila. Now we go on the side. Make sure you have a straight line and you raise very little, but up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tiny little circle. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reverse. 2. Very small. It's stronger when it's small. Voilà. And rest. Take a deep breath. Now we do forward and center. Forward and center with both legs. Forward, center. Forward, center. Forward, center. And rest. Take a deep breath. Now we do the statue. And that's off with the shoulders and the legs. And down. And up, and one more, up. And now little ones, open here and close, open and close, open and close. Lead with the toe and lead with the heel, toe and heel. And then you finish with a nice stretch, nose to the knee. Take your ankle and open like a flower. And now the other side. Straight line. And put your hand in front and up and down, up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tiny little circles that are just above and not big ones, just tiny ones. You're centered all the time. And reverse. 5, 6, 7, 8. Bend your knees and take a deep breath. Now, to and fro. Forward, center. Forward, center. And the scissors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And rest. Take a deep breath. The statue. Maia Helles. And up with the shoulder. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And the little ones opened and close. And heel. To lead with the toe, lead with the heel. Up the toe. And now bring the knee to your nose. And then open like a flower. And 1, 2. And then we finish with the exercises on the tummy and on the knees. So you start. That's a test exercise if you function, if you are very well coordinated. And it's right arm and left leg. You count 5. You raise left and right. 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1. Your nose is near the ground, but you don't lean on it. And so your chin is in. All right? This is not high at all. It's just the weight of the floor. So you do it from 2 to 3 or 4 times, whichever you want. If you have a lot of energy, you do twice more. 3, 4, 5. And 1. It's hard. 3, 4, 5. Not high. You're not going high, but you're holding. Now you bring yourself over. Slide back. Take a deep breath. And massage your quadriceps. And then we do the caterpillar. And that is the anti-sciatic exercise. So it's very important. You are only on your knees, but your hands are in front like this, elbows out, and you go forward, and then you put your tummy in and then head down. Continue the rotation. 1, and tummy in, drop the head, and 1, and then reverse, and forward. And that's called the wheel going forward, because the motion of the wheel going forward. You can do it as many times as you want, but about, between 5 and 10. And up. And then you separate your knees. That's the cat stretch. You push with your pelvis forward, the nose to the ground, but not leaning on it, and back, and push. And 1, 2, and 3. And then the pendulum, because it's rhythmic. 1, and it's a good stretch. That's the end of the routine. When you have time, you do more. When you don't have time, you do less. But you do it slowly and intensely for your inside, with your body guiding everything, your brain guiding everything. And now getting... By accident, because I'm attracted to their personality, or their looks, or their voice. It depends. But when I sit in the bus and there's someone, a beautiful woman, who is young and beautiful, and she holds herself like that, I immediately invite her to come and have a lesson so I can teach her how to stand straight without effort. And that's only the rhomboid muscles. Because if you go like that to straighten up, you get tired in 2 minutes, because the muscles are passive. But if you contract your rhomboids, you contract everything else around. And you raise your rib cage and the shoulders go down, and you don't get tired. You get tired eventually. You don't go on forever doing that, but you can hold yourself for a long time straight without feeling that you want to go like that.
So you meet people.
And it really works if people believe me.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, where are the rhomboids? Well, I said, the rhomboids are the muscles of your shoulder blades. And you have one on the right, one on the left, And when you contract the rhomboids, they move towards the center slightly, millimeters. But the reaction is the shoulders go down and the rib cage goes up. That's automatic because you contract the rhomboids. You're not doing it. When you're going like that, you're doing it and nothing happens. So the secret is that you don't do anything here, only here. Well, goodbye. It was lovely talking to you. Okay, sweetheart, you're wonderful. Bye-bye. I have to change shoes and then go and not eat because I ate plenty at lunch.